Hi, I'm Nathan Thompson, and this is going to be my voice reel. I'll do a couple of impersonations, but mostly I'm going to go over how I build voices because I think that everything has to be customized to the situation, and it's also more fun that way. We'll start off with one that I get a lot of crack for, so here we go. That first night in the joint, Andy Dupree cost me 2 packs of cigarettes. He never made a sound. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Morgan Freeman, and I have one little public announcement to make. I hate penguins. Thank you. So with that little bit in point, we'll play a little bit. We'll do a couple of different variances of accents. We'll start off with the stereotypical one that gets used in cartoons. It's a little bit more outlandish, like, for example, the Scottish one. What are you doing there? You know that's not what you're supposed to be, but I get what you're doing. It's not like your friends. Let it go. A more realistic Scottish accent for someone who's actually not like hyperbolic would probably be like, what are you doing? I'll never know what it's like, but to be sure, you'll know it when I'm speaking it. It's not always what it seems to be, but always a bit more than what it should. The same is kind of true for Irish. You get your Lucky Charms. Oh, they're after me, Lucky Charms. I don't know what I'll be doing here, but I'll tell you in the morning. Unrealistically, for example, an Irishman would be more subdued in his speech, and it depends on what he's doing. Of course, often in the movies, they like to go with the stereotypical because often people will not get the more nuanced version. The same with the Russian. Like, we'll take 3 different examples. We shall start with Russian gangster who says, "Hey, we will kill you now, but don't worry. It's not personal, only business. We drink a vodka first." Or the Russian scientist, "We must make the calculations for everything ready now. Make duel with Lodrovsky, and not what you're thinking, you know?" The funny thing is the romantic version, like if you're going to try and do like the sexy Russian, it almost slips into the sexy Spaniard. "Yeah, no, it's the dirty Russian. We take like this and go down, but I'm very much in love with you. I'll tell you that I treat you like a princess, like all the other girls." Whereas the romantic Spaniard a la Antonio Banderas, "I will treat you to so many things if I can. I know this will always be good for you. It's almost like I don't always drink beer, but when I do, it's a dark one from Germany because Mexican beer is terrible." You know, that kind of bit. Or, you get your, "Oh my goodness, it's like Senor Speedy goes so quickly, and it's a stereotypical racist thing from the 70s, but people still find it amusing." And the kids I grew up with, "Hey, vato, you want to vaya conmigo en el supermercado? We're going to get these done like these aburridos." Break. You're Gerard Depardieu. "Oh, we will get this done like the Frenchman. I will exaggerate a little bit and take it forward for you, but no one knows. But you'll take my friends from France, always they speak English quite well, and it's not as pronounced as the other one, and perhaps even a bit more down here because they are very precise in what they are trying to say, but it's a little bit different." You get like your German, the typical German person like this. "We will do what we want, and this is all these things. And you get to not say German, it's not the typical." But most of your Germans who actually speak English will probably sound more like, "Well, I will do the things because I cannot always speak the TH, but I'm trying." And they don't roll their R's with the tongue like the Spaniard. They roll their R's with their throat, and so that is where a part of the problem comes when they are speaking English. It sounds almost amorphous. British accents are kind of a trip and punk. You can have your, "I'm from Birmingham, and we speak English a bit more, subdued." It's not precisely as the typical British accent you might see in a TV show, which is all some kind of variation of London or Liverpool. Or your classic old school, like Winston Churchill, "We shall fight them on the land, on the shore, very much like the narrator of Winnie the Pooh, Tigger and Eeyore, with Christopher Robin, of course." If you're going to do kind of a fun voice for like some kind of cartoon character, the animal, you've got to decide like, well, what are his jowls going to look like? What are his teeth going to look like? How's his mouth going to move? So for example, if I want to take a dragon character, you might go back in time to the classic Frank Welker version. That's all amorphous without any beast. But if you want to give them teeth, you got to figure they can't close their mouth the same way a regular person would. So it will be more like this at the bottom, and I shall allow resonance to occur, but my mouth will never completely close because my fangs are in the way. Kind of like the sexy vampires in Twilight, except for cool. And then we'll go with some of the more typical voices, a couple of like answering machines and ad stuff that I've done. Like The confident voice that's supposed to make you feel like everything's good. Thank you for calling High Rock Accounting, your one-stop shop for accounting done differently. We'll make sure the IRS doesn't get you. Or you want to have somebody that feels a little bit more on top and not quite so confident because you want the person to know that it isn't really important how well they feel about a thing. For example, you work online from home because that's what everyone does now, and your internet's important to you. At CenturyLink, we make sure that when you're angry calling us, you have to speak to a robot that makes you want to commit suicide instead of homicide. It's how we do our jobs. CenturyLink, making sure that homicides are being reduced. Sort of. So one of my favorite voices to do that's really unique that I don't know, I'm sure there are people who can do it, I don't know anyone who does, but we'll take a classical 1980s cartoon Transformers. The new movies are actually really lazy in this regard because the voices do not have the polyphonics the old ones did. You take Peter Weller, who would have been one of the ultimate movie announcement guys, and he's like, Autobots transform. He's got a voice down here like this, but it needs to be polyphonic, so we'll add in the second voice down here, and then I'll add in the third, and it's Autobots transform and roll out. His counterpart Megatron was all in the high range. Optimus Prime, I will destroy you and all that you've done. There was actually Ironhide, who was very much like Optimus Prime, but not quite. And for some reason, they gave him a southern drawl. So bits about down like that. There's some other, you could always go back in time to when Jim Henson was making us all laugh and say, I'm really sorry. I know what it's like being green. Or for example, Yoda. Trust you, I must. Zoidberg, or any character that's supposed to be underwater where they roll the R's in the back of the throat. Oh, I will always come after you, no matter what you say. You get that kind of bit going on. And of course, there's always the little guys up here. Well, how are you going to do it? And you get some mini boys. I don't know. You can read these squeaky characters you can't understand, things like that. Again, my name is Nathan Thompson. Thank you very much for listening, and I would love to create a custom voice for you.